Hi, my name is Eli Van Cleve, and today I'm in the beautiful Temescula State Park here in Santa Monica, California. And I would like to show you what you might be able to find inside of the stream near your local forest. It's January here in Santa Monica, and it may seem that the stream is void of life, but that's just not true. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and get a sample of this mud and water inside of the stream. I'm going to put it inside the test tube. I'm going to take it home and look at the mud and water under my microscope to see what's living inside. Before I go collect the sample of mud and water, I'm going to put on some gloves. These are just typical gloves you might find you working with food, which is just fine if you want to protect yourself against the water here. The important thing about this water is never drink it, and if your hands do touch it, make sure to wash your hands clean thoroughly afterwards, because you don't know what's really inside of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it up not only with water, as I've done right here. I'm going to take a sample of the mud as well. Let me see if I can get a little bit more mud. All right. And as you can see here, I have a sample of both water and mud, and then I can take a look and see what little organisms are living inside by using my microscope that I have at home. Now let's put it under the microscope and let's see what's there. As you can see, this pond water is full of life. Here is an protozoa. It probably is a single-celled protozoa, but not a photosynthesizing kind, so it looks like it probably eats something. You can tell that there's actually seems to be some food inside of its body right even at this moment. This is a photosynthesizing protozoa, genus Netsia. I was able to identify at least the genus of this one. There are over 300 different species of this kind of protozoa, single-celled organisms. These are what we call eukaryotes versus some kind of prokaryote or other kind of organism. A eukaryote is a single-celled organism, but the cells are much larger. They have something called organelles, like organs inside of our body. And you can even see that in the case here, because if you look carefully, you can see two different sections called the diatomic. Each one of those two sides are able to photosynthesize, and it's got a very complex cellular structure, much like we do. It moves around through the water by using something called phlangae, which are like little whips that are at the end of the organism and around the organism itself that allows it to swim. These organisms can sense the environment around them to some limited extent. They can sense light, and they have some chemical sensors as well, kind of built in within the cells. These are very simple sensors and something which are the predecessors of what we actually have today within ourselves, much like our eyes or our nose or whatever. And all the movement you see here within this fluid, the stuff moving around, that's all actually caused by living organisms within the slide itself. This is just a set of pond water that I had collected earlier, you saw, and then I simply took and applied a drop of it on top of a microscope slide and put a slide cover on it that allows things to be able to be viewed more easily by the microscope itself. All these images you see right now are zoomed in by 800x. What that means is that what you're looking at right now looks 800 times larger than it actually is. So you can imagine how small these things really are. Getting a microscope like this is not particularly difficult to do, and they're readily available, and they're a few $100s. So they are an investment. If you enjoy looking at small things, this is a very fun investment to have. And you get an opportunity to see all the sorts of life that lives inside of the waters and the world around you that you normally wouldn't get a chance to see. So here you see again all these sorts of microorganisms moving around. There's actually lots of them present. And in fact, in the center, near the top right, you see something that I hadn't seen before. In this section, I wasn't able to identify what the organism was, and that's because, as you can see, there's lots of debris and rocks that are surrounding it. But it is actually very interesting, because what you can see here, it looks to be whips or some kind of tentacle or something sticking out. I don't know what it was that this organism is, but it's very interesting to watch it try and move through this collection of rocks and debris, because it's clearly what it's trying to do. But it's stuck, and that's rather unfortunate. But it makes a fun video to sit down there and watch as this thing's trying to whip and move around. You almost want to feel bad for them, but there's not really anything that they experience as feelings or difficulties, because they're just trying to move in a very basic set of rules. But even based on a simple set of rules, it's very interesting to try and watch as they try and navigate the world around them, and how effective they actually are in doing that, in both capturing food and evading enemies. So this concludes the more or less the slides that I have to show you. I hope everyone's been enjoying watching them, and everybody have a wonderful rest of your day. This has been a video from Van Cleef Scientific. If you like this, please like and subscribe for more content.